Yeah. So I've not had a good track record with season 3. Watching a little bit of footage here and there, like people playing, I speculated Vega might be a character I actually would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was more fun than I think I've had with probably any other season 3 character so far.
Great. Glad you liked him. Yeah, I mean, my season 3 experience, I've gotten to like them steadily more and more as I've gotten more experience with the game overall, and as I played them more. Like I think they shine at high levels of play with a lot of experience, because it's like, man, these characters are really, really deep. I'm still trash at Cammy, but apart from Cammy, I feel like I can play most of these characters reasonably well.
I remember we jammed a few games to Sagat a while back, but he just wasn't clicking with me.
Mm-hmm. So Sagat is probably my current favorite, although I still love Dan and Akuma, especially Dan. Like, I don't think I can ever give up Dan as a main on principle, like, or at least as a sub-main. Just, he's great. Sagat, I was actually talking briefly with Helios about this earlier. We just need to work up some alternate outfits for the Season 3 cast. Street Fighter aesthetic is not really my aesthetic. Sagat's cool, but he'd be even better if he was a cute anime character. So, I just need to go find a game to rip sprites from or something. But yeah, so my Bison is a meme. He's a fun meme, but he's a meme. My Dan is a meme, also a fun meme. And then Vega, Viper, Sagat are probably my current favorites. I also enjoy a good Guile, Ken. I'm a little tired of Zangief. I played several dozen games of Zangief in 1 week. I'm not a Zangief main. That was kind of tiring. He's also really, really linear.
Yeah, I played Zangief, and it's just like I got stuffed every single turn, and it was like, well, here we are.
Fair. Were you playing into me?
Might have been. It was a while ago.
Okay.
I guess all my games except for, well, when we just played recently, it was a while ago though.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, if it wasn't recently into me, then no worries. I was just like, was it right after I jammed 30 to 50 games of Zangief? Because then that's a reason to get stuffed. But no, evidently not. Yeah. So he's not a bad character. It's just he's linear, and so I find him not super interesting. Because it's like, well, he goes to range 1 and he hits you really hard with stuff that's often unbeatable. I like a little more excitement, a little more either mix-up or resource tension. I'm not great at Chun-Li because I'm not good at boost characters. She's fine.
I don't feel like she's the boost character that I want to play if I'm going to play a boost character.
That's fair. Like, I don't dislike her as a boost character, but I'm just not great with boost characters in general. Kokonoe, if I'm going to play a boost character, it's going to be Kokonoe. Like, yeah. In the 5 seasons. That's the one.
Which, I don't think I boost anywhere near as much as you with her.
Fair. I mean, yeah, that's what I do, is I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll put a boost into play and put the graviton on the board, and then I'll figure the rest out later. It's kind of my plan most of the time. I guess you can call C-Viper a boost character, but in my mind, she's just totally different. Like, she just isn't anything like any other boost character, so it's just not the same thing. She is massively rushed down.
Yeah.
She's really fun. I like C-Viper.
I don't think that I've tried her, but I've just been very averse to Season 3.
Yeah, totally fair. Like, aesthetically, they are not my jam, so I can understand.
Yeah, that's my big thing. It's just the aesthetics.
Well, if I will let you know when I have cute anime alt arts for Season 3. Let's see how we do. Pretty sure I know who I want to use for Sagat, because it's a tiger character.
Okay. I was going to say, is it Solid Snake?
No.
I think he has an eye patch in one of the games.
Maybe. I'm not at all familiar with Metal Gear, or Metal Gear Solid, or whatever it is. Or, yeah, Solid, Metal Gear, and then Metal Gear Solid. Anyway, not familiar with them. I know other people are.
My first thought was the eye patch, but then I thought of the irony that he plays
Naked
attacks
Snake is
unhidden.
the one that has the eye patch.
Gotcha. So there's a character named Naked... Hi, Blue. Bye, Blue. Alright. There's a character named Naked Snake who has the eye patch. Well, I appreciate that correction. But yeah, no, there's a game called The Legend of Dark Witch. And I have no idea why that's the first thing I thought of, considering the character who's like wears tiger skin and is a beast person does not primarily use projectiles. She's a melee fighter, but you know, details, whatever. I'll just play Brawler to God. It'll be worth it. In the boss fight, she throws missiles at you, so it's fine. That'll be tiger cannon. But yeah. I don't know. We'll find alt outfits, alt arts. Because the gameplay in season 3 is rock freaking solid. I'm not even sure I could say which of these characters I think is like the weakest from a design standpoint. I feel like they're all really good.
Yeah, they're all interesting because even like the simple characters like Ryu and Ken have something that they do very well as far as like being fundamentals based characters.
Yeah, I mean they let you play Exceed and they make Exceed really good Exceed. Like they're not complex, but they're not really easy either. Like their gameplay is extremely deep and the matchup is really interesting. Like the most linear is definitely Zangief, but there's nothing wrong with having a character like that. Like the character who wears a giant neon sign saying, "Here's what I want to be doing today. I'm going to be at range 1, crushing your skull. That's my entire plan. I'm not stopping for breakfast beforehand, and I have no plans afterward. That's it. That's my whole day."
I thought Oracle was linear, and then Zangief came out, and I was like, well...
I thought who? Sorry? Oh, Ulrich?
Ulrich?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
not compared to Zangief. Yeah, Marathi, Lily, Ulrich, Gabrek. Like, there's characters in Season 1 where it's like, yeah, I kind of feel like the character always does the same thing a lot. And then you play Zangief, and you're like, alright. This is what that experience is really like. Although that said, I think partly because of that, like, the entire game becomes focused around, are you going to prevent Zangief from doing his game plan? Because if he does his game plan, it will kill you. Straight up. Like, no matter who you are. Which means he is really matchup warping. So, that's... I'm glad not every character is like that. I think it's fine to have characters like that, but I feel like if every character was like that, you'd... Well, that's Season 4, actually. What am I saying? That's the Season 4 experience, is every character is massively matchup warping. Where it's like, can you deal with Enchantress doing her thing? Can you deal with Mole Knight doing his thing? Can you deal with Polar Knight doing his thing? Like, nobody in Season 4 just plays Exceed. They all have a lot of shenanigans on top of that.
And if Cyrus does his game plan, you take like 2 or 3 damage and that's it.
That's just me, to be fair. Other people can deal damage with Cyrus. Other people can deal damage with Cyrus. I just don't. Like, I do all the things, and then I'm like, oh, right, I was supposed to, at some point, find a way to convert shenanigans into damage. Which he is good at doing, as it turns out. I learned that. I'm not good at remembering to do it, but it's totally a thing. Yeah, Blue is freaking out with, I think, 6 exclamation points, maybe 7. Because, yes, Cyrus has very consistent access to power bonuses. You know, if you bother to use them. Or you could be me, and just try to recur stuff constantly.
Well, I think you are 100% of the Cyruses I've played at this point, so...
There you go. So as far as you know, the only thing Cyrus ever does is try to set up recursion shenanigans. And reading loops. And reading recursion shenanigan loops. Oh man, I don't know if Snake, the player Snake, is still around, but he popped in a chat earlier. He's, I think, the premier Cyrus player. He was gained a reputation as being really good. Also, a reputation for playing characters whose names start with the letter S. I think that was just a coincidence, but he was like Snake, Cyrus, Sagat, Sydney, and Serena. Don't think he played Shovel Knight though.
Just trying to think if there's a common theme for characters I play. Nah, not really.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember us like discussing this and me looking at the characters that you like, and I'm like, nah, like I can pick out things where I'm like, you might like this character because of these similarities to this other character that I know you like, but I don't think I could predict out of whole cloth what characters that you like. I'd just be like, oh, so you like, you know, Miska. Well, you might try Lychee or Carl or Rachel. Or Kokonoe, but I kind of feel like the others are more similar to Miska than Kokonoe.
Yeah, I think you said kind of out of the blue Rachel. I think that was actually a pretty good one for me.
That makes sense. I mean, the things that you're good at with Miska that I am bad at are things that will make you probably pretty good at Rachel.
And like I said before, Kokonoe has ended up being a character that I really, really enjoy.
And I'm glad for that. I think the world needs more Kokonoe mains. Can also never have enough Tager mains, but especially Kokonoe mains. I can play all the I can make up for any deficit in Tager players. I will play all the Tager that we need. Carmine says they have a very specific aesthetic. Hazama, Turn Loose, Minato. Okay. Alright, so dudes with suits with nice hats. That's what I'm getting. Is very specifically dude, suit, hat. And tie, I think. Does Turney have a tie? Hang on. I need it. Yeah, I think there's a tie there. Yep. Hey, you know, as aesthetics go, I got nothing against it. Seems pretty solid. You even have like three different flavors of suit. You've got the black and white, the solid white, and the solid black.
I'm pretty sure there's a song about sharp-dressed men.
There is. There is. Man, when I was in college, I remember seeing someone showing me like a music video where it had Helsing. Sorry, Alucard from Helsing. Wait, hold on. It's not just called Helsing, is it? It has like a subtitle. Can't think of the name of it. Anyway. But it was someone made a music video to that song that was just clips of Alucard. Because dude is dapper. Hazama. I guess that would be this order.
I always try to think about like teams that I would play.
Thank y'all. Helsing Ultimate.
From a...
That's the one.
Oh yeah. I always try to think about teams that I would play from like a tournament standpoint, even though I'm not really interested in tournaments.
Same. I mean, for me it's easy because it's just, you know, my favorite / two favorite characters, and then I usually like can't make up my mind about the third one. But you know, until Imogene rotates out, Imogene.
Yeah.
And then Tager now. Previously would have been Rimless. As my.
That's what I was about to ask. Has she fallen out of favor with you?
Oh no, I still love her. I tend to reserve her. As like, she is still my strongest character. I want to like practice my Tager more. Like I feel like my Tager needs work. I think my Rimless is pretty solid. Like how do I put it? I think the extent to which I would have to play Rimless to improve my Rimless is much greater than the extent to which I would play any other character to improve them. I think I've come so far on Rimless that it's hard to improve. Not impossible, by no means, but takes a lot. And I would rather reach higher levels with characters like Tager than try to really reach the 100% mark with Rimless. So that's my reason for not playing as much Rimless. Blue says his tournament team, if he wanted to shoot himself after every game, would be Rimless, Sagat, Bang. But in practice, he would probably sub one out for a more relaxing pick. Yeah, this is not an easy team to play. Like, the easiest of these is probably Bang, and that's saying something. Because the common trend of these three characters is no matter what resource decisions you make, you'll feel like they're wrong. You will do things, then you'll be like, ah, man, I should have held that card. I could have done something else. I needed that resource. Yeah, and like I said, my third's a question mark. I like Koknoe a lot. I'm not particularly good with her, but it's really tempting to run Tager and Koknoe in the same team for thematic reasons. Like,
Yeah.
it's very, very tempting. In real life play, my Cyrus altars look incredibly badass, so it's a very strong contender as well. The impending regret characters. Yes. Well, no, Carmine, not impending. It's retroactive, or it's retrospective. It's you do it, and then you're like, ah, now I regret this. It's not impending until you have practice with them, because then you know in advance of every decision you make, you're like, ah, I will regret this decision, but I have to make it anyway. Man, my like contenders for sub main or main in season 5 is a little bit dumb, because let me just get the list. Yeah, so I got Kokanoe, Noel, Ragna, 9, Hakumen, Arcune, Bang, Carl Tao, Rachel. It's probably faster to like find the characters that I am not super considering. Go figure, I like the set.
Surprise, surprise.
I will say, like, in this lineup that I am now assembling, with an unnecessary amount of moving of pieces around. Oh gosh, why have I done this? This was such a mistake. Alright, let's just get rid of all this. Yeah, I don't think I have the entire set in there. Yeah, like, I'm not going to main Platinum. I'm not going to main Lychee. I'm not going to main Hazama. I'm not going to main Jen. Everyone else is at least a contender, I think. But, in practice, Tao I don't think I like enough as a character in the source material. Even though she's fun. I just like her. Now, if that was Torikaka, whole nother story.
It just makes me think of Felicia from like Darkstalkers.
Yeah, see, I'm not that familiar with Felicia. I'm very familiar with Tao at this point. There are some things that I strongly dislike about how she's portrayed in BlazBlue, which not everyone like interprets the portrayal the same way, right? So for some people, wouldn't bother him, but I don't like how they portray Torikaka as a character. And then they seem to like mostly try to keep her out of the way of the plot and anything important later on, so she feels like she gets downgraded into a what's the word, comic relief character, which I'm okay with if so, because like I said, don't really like her. Her sister, her older sister Torikaka, though, is an awesome character. Like most of the other characters in her bloodline are great. Let's see. Carl's a friggin' sociopath. I also don't like him as a character. But I really like grapplers. Who probably won't play Carl, though. Just because he's a little monster. Arkyn is literally a monster. That's different. That's fine. No problem with that. Yeah. No issue there. And then all the rest of these are characters that I'm like, yeah, these characters are pretty awesome. I think I probably wouldn't want to main Rachel just because I've seen, like, so like I like Rachel, but I'm not as excited about Rachel as some other people that I'm thinking of specifically are excited about Rachel. So I'm like, well, I'll let somebody else main her and just lean back on other people. Because
yeah,
I don't need to.
I feel that way about Zolt because like I remember playing against him against you in like PAX South, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. But then like everybody started playing him, and I'm like, well, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there's only a couple people playing Zolt these days. Zolt still has that reputation of being this really strong character who gained a reputation as being unbeatable. Not really unbeatable, but you know, as being like top tier. And to be sure, he's being played by very strong players. But yeah, like I think there's 2 Zolts in the tourney, or 8, depending on if you call Ragnar Zolt, because I've done that a few times now. I definitely can't be completely blamed for that. I mean, look at these characters. Yeah. But yeah, so looking at these, Arcane might be a sub-main, which is like the same thing, because I'm like, but specifically I'm thinking of like Poimen and Jay as being Arcane players who are very, very good. Poimen, I don't have a ton of experience against, but I think he's the kind of player who could take Arcane really far. He has shown me stuff with Sydney and Serena that really impressed me, because I never really respected them before. And then I was sparring. I don't know if you heard the story if you were even there, but like I was sparring with someone as Sydney and Serena, and then I was like, man. So the first game I got annihilated, and I was like, okay, I need to stop and think back to when I played against Poimen, Sydney and Serena, and try to play them the way that he played them. I must channel my inner taxi meta. And you know, I made kind of a joke of it. I'm like, I'm just gonna play Taxi Meta now. I'm gonna stop playing Exceed, which, you know, obviously Taxi Meta plays Exceed. That's the whole thing. But and then I did really well, and I was like, huh, these play patterns make sense. This character supports them. The things that he was doing work really well, even though I wouldn't do them on any other character. So Sydney and Serena are interesting. They don't support my usual playstyle, but they absolutely do support ones that are very, very different from mine. So I feel like Arcane might be in that niche. My friend Byron is also an excellent Arcane player, but I think he prefers 9, but I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure who his favorite in Season 5 is. I think it's between these two, though. 9 is cool. I'll probably always submain 9 just because 9, like, you don't run out of things to do. She's like my Cyrus for Season 5. I can push a lot of buttons, and I can ultimately do nothing, and that's great. That's exactly what I want. Do a lot of things, and ultimately nothing happens.
Yeah, Nine's another one that I feel similarly about, where it's like she's been the topic of a lot of conversation lately. And it's like, I'm gonna stay away from her for a minute. Mm-hmm. But thematically, I do really like her, especially when you told me that she's Kokonoe's mom.
Yes. Yep. This here is one branch of the family tree that is canon. And this matchup is really, really trippy. Science versus magic. Although Kokonoi can also use magic, she just doesn't. But yeah, no, 9 is cool. One thing I do like about 9 is, like, I think no matter how many people decide to main 9 or pick up 9 as a main or sub-main, there's so much diversity and so many choices in how you play her and what you do with her, that, like, I'm not too worried about overlap there. Like, I already know of at least 2 9 players who are just drastically different. Wait, three 9 players who are drastically different. And then there's myself, and I don't consider myself to be like any of them, so I guess that's 4. And it's like, well, she supports a bunch of different ways to play her, so.
There's a tournament team right there.
True. Yep. 9's aesthetic is not as much my aesthetic, but she's solid.
I feel like you're pretty similar to me in that I know there's a lot of players that, like, they very want to carefully pick their tournament team to cover weaknesses and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, who's the most fun and who's the prettiest? All right, yeah, let's play these.
Yeah, it's like, who do I want to play? It's like, I got Imogene, and to be sure, there's some overlap there. As far as, like, the characters that I got more interested in, it's like, because they look cool. Rimless looks super cool. The idea of playing a walking nuke is amazingly appealing to me. I also love Eoquist. I think his theme is just freaking awesome, and Cyrus too, and Galdred. Like, there's a lot of characters where my initial attention to them was because I love the theme. And then as I played more and more of those characters, it narrowed down. I also like Eugenia's theme. As I was like, well, okay, theme is cool, but then the playstyle really appeals to me in this way. And then Imogene is the like, spot-on playstyle, and also strong alignment with what I like aesthetically and thematically. And then Tager is Tager. He's my dude. I main him in BlazBlue. I've gotta run Tager. But yeah, so, like, 9 thematically, I don't really care for. But she's on. All right. So in BlazBlue Central Fiction, you don't have to have a team of 3 characters, right? But because I'm coming from Exceed, I'm like, I feel like I should have a team of 3 characters. So, despite not needing to, I picked up Tager, Ragna, and 9 as, like, my main and sub-mains, where Tager is 100% the main, and then I sub-main 9, sub-main Ragna. Just for whatever reason, it was, like, intuitive to me that I should have 3 characters. So I play 9, I like 9. I tried to play Kokonoi. Whew, boy. I'm not good enough to play Kokonoi. She's really hard. Yes, Carmine, it is time to get command grabbed.
My only real experience with BlazBlue's tag battle.
Oh yeah, cross tag battle. Yeah, I've not played that at all. It's, as I'm sure you're aware, it's not, like, quote unquote really a BlazBlue game. It plays totally differently. But
yeah, that is what I have read.
Yep, it is considered a hyper fighter, I think, or like called a Marvel fighter because it's similar to the Marvel versus Capcom style of game. I'm gonna say this, and after like 30 seconds, the people in the chat are gonna type their corrections to whatever I just said. But yes. Oh yeah, sorry. I meant to note on the previous thing. If I was gonna look at, like, counter picks and stability and team balance, I would be like, well, let's look. Who am I playing? Grappler, grappler, grappler. Maybe I should pick someone who isn't a grappler. Well, okay, I've got a zoner. Is 2 grapplers and a zoner a good idea? Well, I guess I could pick an all-rounder. Here's an all-rounder. So ideally I would, like, pick one from this, one from this, one from this. And then these characters, let's see, obviously a grappler here. That is a joke. And then that's actually not a joke. Noelle probably does play like grappler when I play her, at least. Arcane is Arcane.
New is just a grappler at, like, 3 to 4 range.
There you go. Yeah, just your classic range 5 grappler. It's fine. And then Hakumen, it depends, but I don't care enough about balance and counter picks, so I'm just like, well, I want to play Imogene. I want to play Tager. If they're both legal, they're on my team. Period. If I want to have a counter pick, all right. So I'll reveal my secret, my secret sauce, my special, my super secret special tech. Here it is. If I need to counter pick, it's because I'm concerned I'm not going to have a lot of fun in a matchup. Not because I'm going to lose. I don't care. I don't care about losing. So, introducing Promo Knight, the character who is most likely to sap the fun out of the matchup of any character in the game. Let me grab the characters who are likeliest to tell me. So here's Minato, here's Rinea. I used to have trouble with Chun-Li, not so much anymore. Long time ago I had trouble with Eugenia. I'm used to her now. Joffrey qualifies. I think these are probably the characters who are likeliest to tilt me specifically. Just looking across the board. Imogene beats Rinea, because even though I lose, I have fun the whole time. So that's a win for me. Imogene can also handle Joffrey. This is actually a matchup thing. Like, she has slows and mid speeds. He's made of slows, you know. He's Joffrey. Tager is also really, really funny against Joffrey. Tager's just hilarious in general, into other slow characters, though. Minato, I will probably tilt against. Can't really be helped. There's no character that makes that better if your opponent decides to play Mulatto. I have discovered something interesting, though. Promo Knight, who tends to make the game kind of a, like, boring defensive slugfest. This is my tech.
That's what I was about to ask, was if Hakumen you felt had a chance against, like, Mulatto or...
So Hakumen into Mulatto tends to be an issue in my experience. His card shapes aren't good enough at catching Minato, because they tend to assume people aren't, you know, advancing 8 spaces, or similar. So I really don't like him into Mulatto, but I have had so far great experience with Hakumen into Promo Knight. In that I find that the typical Promo Knight play patterns of play boost pass, play boost pass, play boost pass, you know, like that line of play that just feels really boring to me. If I play Hakumen, it is just actively bad for them to do that, because I can pretty much always play a boost that's better than any boost they can play on their turn. Or if they don't play a boost, or if they play a mediocre boost, I can sit back, build gauge, and get ready to exceed. Because you've got +3 power? Cool. Sorry, +3 power. There, +3 power? Cool. I've got massive. Extra range, +2 armor, +2 guard. You got +3 speed? Alright, I'm stun immune, and I'll gain gauge if you hit me. These are ridiculous. Like, you're threatening me at range? Cool, range attacks don't hit me. Like, he has phenomenal answers that are all one-turn plays. And be like, well, I'm just gonna ignore the thing that you're trying to threaten me with. And then Yukikaze as an attack is also incredibly valuable, because this says, I see you're winning the boost war, and I'm low on life. It doesn't matter. You can't kill me. I refuse to die. Oh yeah, I actually have seen a Yukikaze catch barnstorming. That was really funny. Because the board state went from here to here, which is just not a thing you see every day. Where Minato's like, I will escape the corner, and Hakumen said, no, sorry. I'm coming after you. No escape. Anyway, so yes, so my aforementioned super secret special tech is, if I want a counter pick on my team, I pick Hakumen, because he's the character that pressures my opponent into not playing slow. So I'm like, man, if you want to take forever, I'll just play a character that says every turn that passes I get stronger. That's
Yeah,
my tech.
I might try to run Hakumen more one day. He did not initially click though.
He's not, like, overall he's not my favorite in terms of playstyle, but I do like big dumb things, and he has his share of big dumb things. Notably, you know, I think I threw it away, so let me grab a fresh one. What I consider to be one of the best ultras in the game. Is hilarious. And I don't even care if this never enters play. I don't care if I never take the reshuffle action. The fact that this is in his kit makes me happy. And then, of course, his Exceed mode is just phenomenal. Being able to just swing Ultra after Ultra into recursion, into things like... I like his Exceed mode quite a bit.
Yeah,
no, Blue. This text is edited. If you're talking about this one, sorry, go on.
I feel like I don't like to be predictable, air quotes, in that way. So I like to throw ultras before I exceed, but then it just delays the exceed, which delays a lot of the recursion engine and that kind of stuff you can pull off.
Mm-hmm. There was, I think, a Hakumen game played recently with Mix that was totally worth watching, because he tread that line very carefully, or trod that line rather, and I thought that was noteworthy, like, because he played an Ultra pre-Exceed, which is often a win for the opponent, right? Like, getting Hakumen to throw 4 gauge at an Ultra instead of letting him get to 8 gauge and then play them quote-unquote for free is often something that the opponent wants him to do, not something that he wants to do. But, like, the way the life math worked out, it was definitely the higher value play than sitting back and waiting. So I actually recommend reviewing that footage if you get the chance. I thought that was actually really well played.
Yeah, Kala was the one that streamed that, right?
Probably. No, no, it wasn't me. So it was probably Kala. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's the only other person who's been streaming them, I think. Yeah. Oh wait, Blue, you were asking about Akametsu, weren't you? You're right. They missed that. Okay. Yeah, for those who are wondering what this exchange was about, there's a lot of cards that got the word move changed into advance or retreat due to just kind of a fine interplace. In Season 4, this resulted in one of the best known, like, card errors in the set, along with Fight having literally incorrect normals. Was Beheaded has a boost that says opponents cannot advance or retreat, which would have just said opponents cannot move. Same text as Akametsu. But yeah, there was a fine interplace that was done across all of Season 4, which resulted in that boost being kind of hard to understand at face value. Season 5, something similar happens. Basically, during proofing, we tried to kick back the ones where it was an issue, but it looks like they just missed Akametsu, so that's nice. I'm of the opinion that cannot move is clearer than cannot advance or retreat, because cannot move covers everything. Lowercase move, notably. Battlecon players probably care about that. Battlecon templating is very precise. Exceed templating could stand to be more precise, but so it goes. But yeah, so if you didn't watch that, or didn't watch it very closely, I recommend watching that footage, because I think that was a really solid game. Assuming Kala still has the video, which I have no idea if his streams are saved.
I know some of his past streams have been.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him about that.
Because I reviewed footage that he had of Peter Sonman.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would love to get those on my channel, so I'm gonna ask him about that. Well, at least the game from earlier. I don't know about everything. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Lazy Ace. I feel like cannot move is just clearer, more concise, but your mileage may vary. I am starting to get tired. If you'd like to play one more game, I'd be happy to play one more to cap the game.
Alright. Sure deal.
Yeah, I'll probably still be up for a little bit to just do stuff and hang out, but I will close the stream after this.